Hello, and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. This is our writing week for the month of October. If you were here yesterday, then you know about our challenge for the month of November, so get ready for that. And in the meantime, we're going to talk about what we're doing for October Writing Week. Victoria?
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so you got a pretty big sneak peek yesterday of where we're headed. So let's say that you've implemented your little capture book for your experience collection, and you're going to participate in the challenge with us and capture some of those experiences, observations, things that catch your eye. Maybe a smell brings back a memory, whatever it is on those cards. But the question is, what do I do with all these cards once I create them? Well, I've got the answer in our writing week. Here's a simple way to incorporate or to triage your experience collection cards. All you need is the pile of cards that you've created, or if you're going to bind them in a disc binder like we have, you just need your raw cards. And then you need a piece of paper with a line down the middle. I know, it's high tech, it's serious, it's involved. Piece of paper, line down the middle. What you're going to use this for is you're going to use it to sort your story ideas. So let's say, for example, I have a card and I was playing around with things that my main male character, Marshall Branch, who is a generational cattle rancher, might say. So he's quirky, he's a cowboy guy, he says all kinds of wacky stuff. So I'm always collecting that might be funny or that might be telling about his points of view or his attitudes. So the other day, for reasons I can't explain, I wrote down the phrase, "when pigs fly." Well, everybody knows that phrase, nothing fancy, nothing innovative there. But what I did was I put "when pigs fly" on this side of the page. And then over here, think of it as a flow chart. I flowed over to how could I use it? How could I change it? Or how might he employ that phrase? And what I came up with was, this is a bit of dialogue. I have no idea where it's going to go. I have no idea who's going to use it. I just know that it's too good to pass up. During a conversation, and I think it might be with Chad, who is my main female character's coworker, who's kind of quirky and weird himself. And Branch and Chad kind of have a little butting of heads. Branch is going to be referring to the phrase "when pigs fly," but he's going to refer to Chad as indulging in an aviation of swine. That's something a cowboy would say, right? And I arrived at that by going through this simple exercise of I wrote down the slang phrase right off the card where I captured it, and then I started to think about how might he employ that? How can I show that from his distinct point of view? And employing an aviation of swine hit the nail on the head. So that's your challenge. Now, if you don't want to go the full page route, that's okay. Do it on a card. You've got the card where you capture the experience item, and you're going to add a second card behind it. If this card has a number, maybe your processing card has a /A or a /1 that tells you it goes behind this one. And you're just going to process it the same way. Over on the one side, you're just going to put a little note about the thing that you captured, whatever that experience was. Let's say maybe it's a smell. It's a smell that evokes a memory. I'm stuck on that this week. Once you write that down, maybe it's apple pie. I don't know. And then on the other side, you're just going to make a note about how you might use that or what it might mean for your story. You don't even have to know what story you're going to use it in. I certainly don't know where my pigs are going to fly will show up, but I know they're going to show up somewhere in one of those books. So that's your assignment. Take those cards and process them in one of two ways so that you can see what you have, and then you can start to generate the ideas for how you could use it. Kathleen?
Oh my gosh. Oh, Victoria, I love that so very, very much. In fact, I love it so much that I'm going to scrap what I was going to tell you and cap on that because I just love it so much. Well, you can probably guess where I was going to go with your kindness experiences because I would advise you to think of the pinnacle and the wing and the rudder and all of the different positions. And I would invite you to think of the receiving versus giving versus watching somebody give so that you've got the different personhoods. But now, with that idea from Victoria, let's compound that a bit. Let's Start with hers. Okay. You just saw it, the piece of paper with the line down the middle. Okay. One of them is, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Victoria. One of them is your experience from your card where you saw a character trait in action. Put that down on the left. And then on the right, you can think about what character that you know might have had an experience like that or been like that. What could have happened besides what actually took place? If it was an example of kindness, which is what we're writing about this week, if you saw somebody being rushing in, helping somebody before something fell, doing an act of kindness, what might have happened if that person hadn't rushed in? So this just you begin to use, that's what the lights all started flashing for me when Victoria was talking about that. You've already got an idea that's unique, that's the experience you captured, and then her idea lets you leverage that in so many different directions. What directions could that spin you off in? And that is such a powerful way of multiplying one experience into 4 or 5 just by thinking of possibilities and characters. And in our case, since we're very, very always with the character traits, we're always thinking, what position is it in? Maybe that's one of the things we'd want to note when you got over to the other side. Okay, I wrote that experience down for that character where I spotted the kindness or unkindness happening. What position do you think kindness was in for that character trait? Don't forget to include that. And then how would it look different? How would it show up differently if that character trait, if kindness, were in a different position on the character profile diagram? Because that will give you another way of saying how might that experience change. And just the other day, I was talking to a gentleman about learning languages and how you go about learning languages. And he was stressing to me the importance of doing all of the language functions if you want to learn a language. You've got to read, you've got to write, you've got to speak, you've got to listen. You have to learn your vocabulary and your grammar, but you really want to have lots of practice in there, because if you're not willing to practice putting yourself into the situation, you're not going to really learn the language. Well, this is a language too. These character traits form a language of motivation, a language of behavior. And when we take those character traits and we start playing with them and saying, how would the scene change based on where that character position is, we're developing our facility with the language. We're getting used to doing the very thing that the book is about. We're writing with emotion. That's what it's all about. We create a scene and we place it in front of our reader. And our reader reads the scene and feels the emotions. So we write with the scene, our reader responds with emotions. That's what writing with emotion is all about. Not saying, oh, the big crocodile tears drifted down his cheek and made a little rivulet. No, that's not the kind of emotions that we're going for. I mean, that might happen in our story, but what we would probably first do is set up the situation and give our reader a chance to say, oh no, and start grieving themselves. And then when they read, the tear drifted. Of course it did. That's drifting down their cheek too. So that's where we want to go with them. And that's why I just jumped for joy when I saw Victoria's presentation, because it's totally doing that practice element that is so important. That's why we have a writing week in the first place. And now by practicing the techniques and the methods and the how of it, we develop the muscles that we can then use it freely when we're writing a longer piece later on. And it really fits in with leading into our November, where we're going to be focusing on experiences for the whole month. Okay, what can you add, Victoria, to your already wonderful presentation?
Well, it's just going to be fantastic. We're going to have so much fun. And just because we love spoilers, we just do sneak peeks. That's our thing. What are we going to do with all of this once we have all this created, and once you've created your flow charts of how you might use things and what you might do with them? Well, if you play along during the experience collection and show us that you're a writer by collecting some experiences and sharing them, we're going to allow you into a boot camp whereby you take these exercises and we help you turn them into that story that you're trying to write. So that's the next step. The experience collection is not an end point of its own. Like Kathleen said, it's a point on the journey to the destination of finished work. So that's what we're aiming for. But first of all, get those experiences captured starting on November 1. Join us over in LiLLiPub and post, see what everybody else is posting, and then we'll meet up at the end of the month and we'll take the next step together, which is getting some of your words on the page and getting some of that writing finished. Kathleen?
Okay, so you're going to need to participate in this, you're going to need to be a member of LiLLiPub.org. It's not terribly expensive, and for a writing coaching that you get for $8 a month, that's lunacy to have that price level for the amount of actual coaching you get in your actual writing. And now, when you think about it, when you post your experiences into the experience collection, you are also gaining admission to that workshop. Has no other price tag. There's no amount of money you can hand us to buy your way in. You do the work and you get in. There's no extra charge. The charge is participating in the work. Yes, you have to pay the dues to belong to LiLLiPub for a month. It's very, very mild dues, $8 a month. And if you think about it, say you join, even if you only join November and December, so you can do the challenge and participate in the workshop, $16 for your admission price for a writing workshop? Give me a break. Where will you ever find that? And that's part of the joy of LiLLiPub is we have our membership dues. See that .org? What that .org means is that we're there for you. We're not there to make money. We're there for you. And this is an opportunity that we have to share that with you so that you can have a chance to experience what we mean when we say we're there to help you become the writer that we know you can be. So, any final thoughts, Victoria?
I think we're going to have a blast. This is going to be so much fun. So everybody come on over and join us because we'll be waiting for you.
Okay, bye-bye.